All right, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. Welcome to the township meeting for September. Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yeah, I think he's here.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Trustee Gunton?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart is absent, and Supervisor Cox.
Here. And so we'll go into our first item is public comments. Please keep your comments less than 5 minutes, we ask. If you have any public comments, feel free to step up.
Yeah, I'm not here to pound anybody's chest or step on anybody's toes. I just have my observation. And my observation is we're here to get the best bang for your buck. Okay, and if you're doing your job, that's what you should be doing. You know, you get paid likewise. Okay, and I come up here to see Derek 2-3 times a week. And I go in the office over there, he's in the office doing his job over there at the office. And he's always involved in making the center better and the township better. Okay, he's in his office many times, and I can't visit with him here or in his office because he's on the phone a lot of times. He's trying to get the best deals for the township. Okay, he's improved the township. Okay, he's gotten grants from the township, the senior bus. He's gotten, I don't know if the solar panels, but he's working on that, if that's come through yet. And he's got the solar panels, so he's doing a lot of work. Okay, some people think, well, all he's doing is spending time at the top, at the center here. Well, yeah, that's part of his responsibility. Okay, he does a lot more than that, though. The main thing is he's trying to save the taxpayers' money. Okay, I've been at the center also when he was trying to get the best deal on an ice machine that's broken down or a new air conditioning unit. I was sitting with him when he was talking about this stuff. Okay. What I've seen so far since Derek's been the township commissioner is he's earning his salary. He's earning his salary. Now, I'm not pounding his chest or anything, I'm just saying that's a fact. He's earning his salary. Now, on the other hand, I see trustees once a month. Once a month. Now, this might sound like, you know, it's trivial, but I don't see you in the township at the center. And maybe you come in when I'm not here, I don't know. I see you guys here once a month. Okay, I don't know what you do when you're not here. Okay, and I don't know what you do when you're here, except for second the motion or vote on something. Okay, the salary of the trustee is $300 a month. That's $3,600 a year. Now, I taught history, I'm not a math guy, but that comes out to $150 an hour. 2 hours a month here. Now, I'm sure you probably do something else, I'm not sure, but I haven't seen you anywhere else. My suggestion, and this is probably trivial too, and my wife says, don't say that, you know, she said, well, you complain, why don't you do something about it? Well, I'm doing something about it. I'm having my voice heard. I'm doing something about it. Okay, my suggestion is that the trustees get minimum wage. That's $14 an hour. That's $28 a month. Okay, $28 a month is $336 a year. Okay, which would save the taxpayers per trustee $3,264. And the total savings to the taxpayers would be $13,046. So I'm going at the point as getting the best bang for your buck. People are doing their work, they should be compensated for doing their work. If you're not doing your work, then let the chips fall where they may. Okay, and that's my speech for today. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Well, should I take the, go ahead. Okay. I just wanna say one quick thing. If I was a trustee, I would be a little insulted by that. Cause, I mean, I know they're in it for the money, you know, everybody knows that that's why they're a trustee, cause all that money they get. What, how much did you say that you guys got? Like, $300 a year?
Like they could pay $157.
I don't think they're in it for the money.
I'm not.
300 for 2 hours. 150 an hour.
Yeah, but it averages out more than that.
Okay. I
There
wanna
is a
s-
mic up there if you want to use it, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think you can hear me, I have a loud mouth anyway. So I just wanna say I'm proud of what's been accomplished in the past 3.5 years. Being present at the center, you'll notice, it rocks on a daily basis. We have seniors that just light up when they come here. If it wasn't for what goes on in this building, so many of them would just be sitting at home waiting to die. This place has been amazing in the last 3.5 years, and it continues to grow. I think we all need to be working on the same page to see progress. It just doesn't seem that's happening now. Along with the current trustees, we've seen many improvements, and as a resident and taxpayer, I thank you for that. I understand it was proposed at the last meeting by some of the board members to cut supervisor's salary, the one that he took a 25% cut when he took office. My thinking is you don't show progress and make big differences to have your board say, let's cut his salary and just be happy with his accomplishments. As a taxpayer and a voter, I think we need a strong team that lift each other up and work for the citizens and work for the people to continue improving our city. I thank all of you for all that you do, but I think we need to work a little bit more on the same page and help each other out. Okay?
Thanks.
Well,
Sure.
are you the only employee of the township that they are pushing to get your wages eliminated? Just you?
Right.
Just you?
No, no, and we're gonna get to that, but no,
Oh, okay.
not now, no.
Just thought I'd ask.
Okay.
Never was.
Okay, I'll make mine short. So last meeting, I spoke out of tune, which wasn't a surprise, and I did owe Matt and Clint an apology, because when I did speak out of tune, I didn't have the facts. And I apologize to both of you guys in private, but I wanted to do it in front of everyone, because I didn't have all the facts when I spoke, so I do apologize. I did do my research too, which is something we all spoke about, and it is public record. I mean, everything that goes on here, every salary, every penny, is public record. And by the medium, on the average, especially for the trustees and the office, you guys are medium. I mean, we do have some areas that are like 67% higher in salaries than all the surrounding areas. And even up north, compared when you start figuring out like the wages. For us, the thing that I personally feel that it needs to be fair across the board. If we're gonna cut one person's salary, and I know it wasn't discussed at the last meeting, it was tabled, and that's because people really didn't get to read and do their research. But if we're gonna cut one, it should be across the board, which it can be, except for the union people. because they're within a contract, which I understand that, and they shouldn't be. Something that I don't understand, and I don't know if it can be done, and it's something that has been discussed every meeting, we have people that don't show up. If this is their job, part of their job, why aren't they obligated to show up for their job? I mean, I have a job, and if I don't show up for my meetings, it affects my job. It affects my pay. It affects the way we look upon as a community. And everybody knows Pete has not been to one meeting in 3 years. And that's his choice, but isn't that part of our job? And so these are just questions I have. But anyway, I think you guys are all doing a great job, and I just hope it's across the board, we're fair to everyone, whether it's, if I'm not mistaken, whether it's the street department, the assessor's office, you guys are all in the same boat, except for the union people. So if you guys do a cut, I hope it is consistent across the board. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay.
Well, hang on.
Oh, Brooks Scott, all right.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Want to go last?
Yeah, 'cause I'm gonna take a slightly different tack.
No.
Scott Radio 205 Westview, hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm gonna stand by my statement I made at the last meeting. Of all the government bodies and all the government boards that are in this area, this is probably the one group that would actually deserve a pay raise, and particularly since you all did take a major pay cut the last election cycle with inflation the way it is. Now, I would like to state that trimming, since the supervisor's position is more a hands-on full-time, that taking a look at that would be concerning to me based against past traditions that we've had. I know it was recommended by one of the township trustees that maybe we want to have a permanent person to do that. Well, that's fine, but now is not the time to decide to restructure how you're gonna do the township. That needs to be maybe done when the board regroups after the next cycle. And if you wanna do that, then there's 2 or 3 years' time and everyone gets used to the idea and all the rest of it to do that, rather than propose that as a good reason to cut someone's salary who's been very active. I support what was said earlier in regards to Derek has been there. I will also say though that I've seen the trustees here. No, they're not here as much, but that's not part of their job description either. They're here to assist and to be the caretaker of the funds. But I've seen Clinton events. I've seen Matt serve behind the suit. I've even seen Brad here whenever he's able to. I know it's not near as often, and I know Ashley comes in from time to time. So I'm more along the lines of, you guys don't make much. You're not doing it for the money. But a token increase to acknowledge the inflation and whatnot we've done with, and acknowledge the fact that we made the cut last time, because you want good people in office, and although money is not the true indicator of that, at least it's an acknowledgement. And so I would much rather see us go in a different direction and continue to have the quality people that we have, acknowledge them appropriately. And, by the tradition of the township supervisor has been a full-time position and worked at that. And to that point, Derek is there. And as we were going through the bicentennial committee tonight, this township is a bit more robust than many. So it might be a disservice to compare us to a lot of the other townships that don't have quite as much going on in regards to the pay scales. So I would just like you to consider that. And then if it would be a good idea to have another supervisor assistant to kind of make sure we have continuity, feel free to examine that. That sounds like that could be something, but let's give it on the appropriate planning and notice and timeframes as opposed to at a meeting against something that you've got a legislative deadline that you have to meet, that you don't need to necessarily set the upper cart down. This board has done a great deal over the last 4 to 6 years. And I know you're anxious to do even more, and that's wonderful, and we want to support you in that. try to come to a common agreement on this, because you do tend to come to a common agreement probably about 90+% of the time. And that's why you guys are working, as opposed to the other messes. The other entity that has a night, meeting night, same time you are, they're talking about a bond issue and a tax increase tonight. So keep that in mind.
Okay, thanks.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Scott.
Stay that way.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, and we'll address some of those comments, I'm sure, we'll have some time here. We're gonna get through our consent agenda, items A through E. Clerk?
So you have the meetings from the last regular meeting, and then you have the reports from the assessor, the highway commissioner, myself, and the supervisor. I gave you copies of the assessor's report, because I didn't send that to you just today, so I gave you a hard copy.
Motion approved consent agenda as prepared.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, next item on the agenda is our approval of bills. Clerk?
Alrighty, first of all, under general assistance for the month, we had expenditures of $2,174.88.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Yeah. Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Next, Road and Bridge had expenditures for the month of $315,565.16.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, no questions? Roll call?
Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Yes. Ball?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
There were no expenditures in the Road and Bridge Equipment Fund. In the Town Fund, you had expenditures of $99,416.60.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call?
Trustee Sewell? Yes. Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
And lastly, the Senior Center had expenditures for the month of $12,892.03.
And I wanted to mention, it is a little bit higher this month. We bought some additional food items that we were low on. And we also did a class in our kitchen that comes out of that fund as well. And then we paid 2 electrical bills in this month instead of 1.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call?
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Yeah. Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, reports by officers and committees. Our Highway Commissioner Kathy, she submitted her report along with the assessor and trustees.
Yeah, so all I have really to say is, I appreciate the comments, Babette, and, the other comments from the public there. Definitely taken under advisement. I got a little, excited last meeting also. Not gonna rehash any of it, other than, when large financial decisions, and this one is approximately $800,000 are to be made. My stance is, more than 2 business days is probably needed to take a look at that. And, moving forward, I think, we got a better process in place for, getting the information to the board, and then via a new business agenda item, and then, addressing that, in an open discussion area, and then tabling any motions or anything for the previous month. So, I think the board's gonna work with Derek and, have those conversations, and, so we'll be better equipped to handle, such a agenda items in the future.
And I would just to add to that, the same sentiment in that just, as your elected officials, we wanna do the due diligence to make sure that we put in the time to make these decisions correctly. It's not one decision. It may seem like it affected one person, or it may have been taken that way. There's been no time where we've targeted one person in this process, not one. And I'm sure you'll see that.
You got anything?
We're good.
And I'll just address that and maybe, so I just want to be clear, we put out our agenda, Jim and I, Jim puts it out, give it on usually Thursday before the Tuesday meeting. It's kind of difficult, I think that's probably ordinary for most boards to put it out, let's see, you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7 days, or 5 days beforehand. So if you have an idea or whatever, if you want to know, just let me know,
Yeah.
and we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And the only reason that is, as far as, one, I'm just going off the text message that I got, that's all. You know what I'm saying, that it said the rest of them, that's it.
But I think moving forward, we keep that out of these meetings, right? We address that.
No,
as a-
what I'm discussing is,
Yeah.
hey, we got XYZ project coming up. Whether
Okay.
it's salaries, whether
Right.
it's the solar, whether
Yeah.
it's something that's, call it $100,000 or more,
Right.
you know?
That
We
deserves
bring
that.
it forward and say, hey, guys, hey, we got this project we wanna discuss.
Mhm.
Let's put it on the new business. And then.
And
let's
just make
open-
sure-
Open the discussion.
And no voting on that.
Yeah, and we don't have to schedule any voting on it. That
Just like
gives
I
us.
mentioned-
Right.
I mean,
That
just
gives
like
us
I
one month
mentioned,
for
we knew
diligence.
about this, right? We knew about it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
We got it on the agenda the Thursday before. That's not enough time for us
I see.
to truly
But
vet.
just so you know,
and it's not
we
just
had
the
private
salary.
conversations
Yeah.
for a
I
long
know,
time.
I know.
Okay,
I'm not,
All right,
I'm just
okay.
saying, just
I just wanna-
large
yeah,
projects in general. you
right.
know.
Absolutely, I'll do it as good as I can, getting it to you guys, and, but communication is a two-way street.
Yeah.
Always, so. Moving forward to the senior center, Gabby submitted a report to me, and I'll just read it. The CSC continues to grow in participation. We are constantly seeing new faces. On a regular Tuesday last week, we had 106 people for lunch. Many of these new faces are from the Savannah trip. Many of these people now come on a regular basis. Many faces are also from word of mouth and the positive experience they're having here. Supervisor Cox and I put together a suggestion session, open meeting at the CSC. We do these twice a year and go over all aspects of the CSC. We had a lot of positive feedback and some great suggestions and ideas, particularly on how to grow bingo. We have had a lot coming up at CSC, including early voting here at the center. We'll have hundreds more coming through our doors. We're grateful for the fantastic parking lot and the improvements made and are excited to show off all the improvements at our building. We have several dances and new exciting craft projects, several new trips that have never been done in the Volkswagen, and a big Halloween party that we are now planning. The CSC is a happening place in Collinsville for anyone 55 plus. Gabby Coots. And Gabby's doing a fantastic job. Okay, clerk?
Just tagging on to what you said, early voting will start up here on October 21st. Tara and I have been registering voters and updating voters' addresses in the office. We actually went out today and visited with some folks at Addington Place, and we're gonna be going to Cambridge House and Village of Hollybrook to register voters, so we've been pretty active in that. So that's a good thing. The one thing I would like to comment on, I bet you made a comment about Pete. I will, not necessarily just to stick up to him, but the assessor by law is not required to attend these meetings. That's why 3.5 years ago when we first started, I asked him to submit a written report, and that's what started this. He's started submitting a written report. I asked Kathy to do the same thing. I did the same thing, and then later on Derek started doing the same thing. But by law, the assessor is not required to attend these meetings.
And just to piggyback on that, by law, he's not even required to actually be in his office. He's not even required to be in his office.
Nobody is. We're elected officials.
That's
We are
how-
not employees of the township, we're elected officials.
I was gonna hand these to you guys. Well, you guys have them. Okay. I sent you all this stuff. I just wanted you to have it, and then there's an extra copy if anybody wants to have this. But the next agenda item is the approval of the resolution for the compensated of elected officials. And since the last meeting, I located and reached out to 10 other townships that are of similar size. It's hard to find the similar size. First, people should know that Collinsville Township is definitely in the top 20% of largest townships in the state. Not only are one of the largest, but we also have the roads department, assessors department, a senior center, and of course, way more, like Scott mentioned. A lot of a lot of townships that I looked into, they might not have assessors department, or they might only have a couple of miles of road, things like that. They might be big, but then their cities are also big. So it's really hard to find. So you have to take apples to apples when it comes to salaries. I sent these completed salary questionnaires to all the trustees. It shows that other townships of similar size and service, we are either right in line or below average in salaries. For example, the average Illinois township supervisor salary is $56,768. I thought it was the right thing to do for taxpayers at last meeting to put forward a resolution freezing all salaries. None of these positions have had any increases in 12 years. The supervisor salary actually took a 25% pay cut 3 years ago. I believe it's important for the Collinsville Township to have talented elected officials who are able to put in the time for meetings with other organizations, writing grants, community events, and of course, day-to-day operations. I felt freezing salaries with the over 20% rise in living expenses was the right balance for the taxpayers and the good of the services in the township. I did not have the votes in the last meeting, though, for that. I understand we have an agreement tonight, and sounds like a motion of a 10% pay reduction for most Collinsville Township elected officials. I want everyone to know another cut in my salary will not affect my efforts, and you will continue to see 100% from me towards the township goals. My interest and efforts since elected have succeeded by applying maximum effort to conquer the many hardships that the township had faced. We've been able to significantly cut budgets. Our tax rate is down over 30%, all the while greatly improving the senior center, adding significant value now due to a parking lot, getting the Volkswagen, plus now getting solar panels that will wipe out our huge energy bills. All or most of this with grant funding. Let's not forget the added services such as leaf and limb pickup for Collinsville residents, or all the many events that the township is now involved with, such as hosting the Empty Bowl fundraiser that has raised tens of thousands of dollars for the food pantry. I have found that this type of success is unprecedented in any other township that I could find, and would actually warrant a wage increase. But I'm not here for my personal welfare. The general happiness of the citizens is very rewarding, and I had a very rewarding day up here at the Senior Center awarding the Senior Superstar. I also recognize that along with great success comes jealousy and pettiness. This was anticipated and counted for, but we have no interest and cannot get mired in the downward path of our past. When we continue our upward trajectory, we have so many more positive results to produce, which is actually the direction that is in everyone's best interest. So let's get this done, and let's move on to real business. So, Clint, I think you had an idea that you wanted to put forward and discuss?
Yeah, so the resolution that we're putting forward tonight is a 10% reduction for all trustees, the clerk, and the supervisor, and the assessor. And then a restructuring of 20% of the road commissioner's salary will be, correct me if I'm wrong, paid out of the
Permanent road fund.
permanent road fund.
But just so you understand, and this isn't gonna stop anything, we can't do anything on this board for that.
Yeah, I know.
That would have to be at the next board. Okay,
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You just wanna put that
Yeah,
on the
I'm just
record.
letting everybody know
Right.
why we're
All
here
that
talking
out.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to, but you know,
Yeah, so, and then, so with those changes, and sorry, I don't have my notes directly in front of me, that'll save the taxpayers, Jim, over $100,000 in the
Yeah, a
next
little
4
over
years.
$100,000
Yeah.
over 4 years.
So,
that's that you're saying it saves out of the town fund, not
Out of the town.
out of
taxpayers.
the town,
Out of town.
yeah,
Correct.
Right.
yeah.
because the money still has to come from her permanent road fund if she agrees to that, or the roads commissioner agrees to that.
Right, the law actually allows the road commissioner to approve paying as much as 50%
Right.
of their salary from the permanent road fund. And the permanent road fund is a fund that a lot of money flows in and out of. We don't have any control over that fund. The county has a fixed tax rate, which we get the money. We don't have to ask for it, we get the money, and it's a lot of money in there.
And I did speak to Kathy about it, because it had never been taken out of there before, so I wanted to know why
Right.
and the history behind that. But she did some research as well and shared that it's pretty much a mixed bag throughout. There's folks that do take it out of there
Right.
and no really rhyme or reason why they are.
I had spoken with her about a month ago about doing this, and she didn't want to do that.
Right.
So, anyway, and when I spoke to our attorney today, it's just something that we can't even get into until after the next election. They have to agree to that. Whoever the highway commissioner would be, they have to agree along with us. Am I correct in saying that?
Right, yeah, so this resolution is contingent
It's just-
upon that letter of, agreeing, once that.
Well,
So Kathy will send to Derek a memorandum agreement that says, as the road commissioner, she directs him as of the next term for those 4 years to pay 20% of the road commissioner's salary from
So I
the
don't-
permanent road fund.
So I don't think she can bind the next board and the next term, so I mean.
So in other words, if she did that,
But we're
if
binding
somebody
the
else.
board now with these salary recommendations,
But,
right?
but you're binding the compensation amount, not where the funds are being supplied
Understood.
from.
Okay.
Right, so.
So, I mean, you could set the amount, and when the next budget comes up, you could say,
Right.
we're only agreeing to budget 80%
Right.
of your salary
Yeah.
from our.
Yeah.
yeah. the next
So
one.
that.
Or the next board could, but yeah.
Understood.
The future, are you saying the future road commissioner would have to then, when we set the budget, would have to then bind to that?
Yeah, I think that it would be an annual budget and levy conversation.
Exercise, yeah.
Well, in the long run,
It would be just a matter of the township taking a firm stance to say, we're only approving X% of your budget, the rest is gonna have to come from the permanent road fund.
Yes, I think so.
but you're right, though, it's dependent upon the road commissioner.
Yes.
This board,
Mhm.
Yeah,
this board
there has to
cannot,
be an agreement.
this board cannot make that decision for the road commissioner, but the current road commissioner agrees to do that.
If there's an agreement.
But it doesn't, it doesn't take place until April 1 or not even April 1, it's April 25th or something, when the new board's seated.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanna make it clear, we're not voting on contingency, we're just voting on those amounts.
correct,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
You're fine. Does anybody else have anything to say? My only question would be, is there a reason, that everybody but the highway commissioner's taking a cut?
So my reasoning was, the workload that she has, and then by taking it out of the road fund.
Okay, that would say the town
that-
fund.
That would say the town fund.
Okay,
Agreed, that was our reason, my
okay,
reason as well.
is out of the town, yeah, so.
And just comparatively, the work she does in the job, just the body of work, speaks to that, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see a big cut, but,
Okay, all right, so do we have a motion on that resolution?
Accept this resolution
I'll-
as is, right here.
Okay, Ruthie's motion,
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Never know there.
Roll call.
Let's see, where was I? Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, move on to the update of the solar project. And I handed all the trustees a letter from our representative at Helio. Dear Mr. Cox, thank you for your time and attention to the township solar projects. This email is to provide a update. The two projects are moving forward on a slightly different pace. Therefore, we are moving each project forward individually. First, the offices. The office project is a few weeks ahead of schedule Ameren, Illinois has approved the net metering interconnect plan. On the original concerns was how long this would take. Ameren had up to 90 days to complete this, but they actually did it in just a couple of weeks. So the City of Collinsville Permitting Department requested a plan set revision. The plans have been revised and resubmitted. We expect their approval in the next week or so. And then Illinois Solar for All is now reviewing the office project as we expect final approval from the Illinois Commerce Commission meeting in late September. After the Illinois Solar for All, Helio will start scheduling the installation, and that's on the office. And then on the township, it's moving forward as expected. Helio's engineering recognized the need for more information and a revision before Ameren, Illinois net metering and interconnect plan submission, which means the senior center project is moving forward as expected. The City of Collinsville Permitting Department, same thing. Then it's gonna be set up to Illinois Solar for All. But just to make this simple for everybody to understand, there was the generator, they hadn't done the engineering quite extensive enough, the plans for that generator and how it's gonna work with the solar panels. They had to come back out and get into the generator, and we had to, that was a mess. but-
Compatibility.
Yeah, it's an automatic transfer switch issue.
Okay, yeah, so we had to find a key and we got all into there. So Helio's solar project management team is monitoring this project's progression and pushing it forward as quickly as possible. We will let you know our progress and if any unexpected delays occurred. I feel very good about it.
I like this. Make sure, please let them know that this is great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, he even called me today, do I need to be at the meeting? And I said, no, you're fine, if you wanna do this, you know.
The only time I really would want him here is if there's a risk or something and we need some questions.
Yeah.
I mean, just to circumvent any, back and forth.
Yeah,
But,
so
no, it's great.
I'm staying on this. I have my timeline on my desk every day. So anyway, it's a big deal for me. So next item is new business. And we have two approvals of the resolutions. This is the authority property tax abatement of the township. And just to make this simple for folks to understand, this is down there on off of 157, correct me if I'm wrong. This would be north of Laura Buick, that area,
I think it's west of Laura Buick.
west of Laura Buick,
Right next to 255.
next to 255. Okay, and they're wanting to,
Road is it? I think it's on the north side of Horseshoe.
North side.
they're wanting
By
to,
road, or by road.
Okay.
want to try some development in there, and so this resolution is similar to a resolution that we've done in the past. Basically, for 5 years, they pay the same amount of taxes that they're paying right now, so we're not losing any tax revenue. But then it stair steps up, and then after 10 years, then they'll be paying the full amount on whatever's new down there. It's trying to spur some development. So we're not losing any money, we're just trying to give them an incentive to do something. And the county requested this, so. There's two different resolutions, I guess it's probably two different plots of land, is that what it is?
No, one's from the township and one's from the road district.
Gotcha,
'Cause
one's
we're
from roads. and
Separate
one's-
tax and
Perfect, all right,
But it's the same,
Same project.
same project.
Same project,
Gotcha,
it's a truck terminal.
two different.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
All right, motion to approve resolution 2024 R12.
Let's look at that.
Okay. Roll call?
Trustee Sewell? Yes. Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
13?
I'll
Yep.
motion to approve resolution 2024-R13.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Yes. Supervisor Cox?
Yes. And lastly, my comments, I said a lot during the salary discussion, but I'm very, very positive. I'm very happy where the township is right now. Just a couple of things from last month. I wrote an extensive and detailed report for the Collinsville City Scoop. It was submitted to Collinsville, and just so everybody knows, they added a couple of pictures, but just last year, they started adding the township in the City Scoop, and it goes to each household in the city. It explains all the services that we offer, and the city does not charge the township for this, so that's a great partnership we have. I've continued to reach out to our auditor about the status of our annual audit. I did get a pretty extensive list a couple of weeks ago. Took me a few days, but gathered all the invoices, bank statements, employee information that was needed, and so they're very close to having it done. Had 4 meetings in total, but 2 meetings with City Manager Jackson and Assistant Manager Short and Rhonda Breslin from our Public Service about our leaf and limb pickup. What I'd like to see is more like the bulk trash pickup, where you can call anytime and you get 2 a year, instead of just having it this week and that week. They couldn't make that happen this time, but we're trying to make that happen in 2025. But it's,
Is there a date for enough?
yes, the date coming up is gonna be the week of November the 17th. And so you can put all your leaves, your limbs out in the front there. We're gonna send out flyers, and the city is gonna send out flyers of how to do that. And a phone number that's gonna go to Public Service when they have problems, and not
Yeah.
me going out to their house. Right.
Yeah, cause there was a lot of questions on
Oh,
bag, not
the-
bag.
It wasn't very good last time, and Derek and I, we both expressed our unhappiness with Republic. There were some problems, and it can't come back on, I'm going out to somebody's house, and, you know, so.
Move and leave yourself.
Right, seriously, it was bad. I wanna thank my mom, Kathy and I. We cooked for 2 days here at the CSC. Had 106 people one day, then served a large breakfast. My mom was a huge help, received many positive compliments. Cindy was out a few days on vacation, and she returned on that Thursday the 5th, so, anyway. Hope everybody has a.
AC's
yes.
kicking in the kitchen?
Yes, AC
Gotta
is.
have a jacket on now?
Yes, AC is in the kitchen. Pretty much every single room has been transformed, and so, we're good. Anything else? November the 17th.
Week of.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, anything else? None?
Motion adjourned?
Okay.